Most people spend years waiting to change. They wait for the right moment, the right circumstances, the right version of themselves to finally show up. But here's what nobody tells you. Transformation doesn't arrive. It doesn't wait for your birthday, your Monday, or your January 1st. It starts the moment you decide that the current version of you has had long enough. 7 days is not a long time, but 7 days of genuine, deliberate action, one real shift per day, is longer than most people have ever given themselves. This isn't a motivational video. Motivation fades before the week is out. This is a system. 7 specific moves, one for each day, that compound on each other. By day 3, you'll feel something shift. By day 7, you'll have proof. Not a feeling, not a mood. Actual proof that you are not the same person who started. The reason most people never change isn't laziness. It's that nobody ever handed them a clear sequence. They read the books, they watch the videos, they feel something for a few hours, and then wake up the next morning exactly the same. That ends today. Here is the system. 7 days, 7 moves. Let's go. Day 1. Stop negotiating with your morning blank. The first thing you do when you wake up tells your brain everything it needs to know about who you are today. Most people start their day by negotiating. 5 more minutes. Check the phone first. See what the world did while they were asleep. Before their feet hit the floor, their focus already belongs to someone else. Here's what that negotiation actually costs you. It costs you the only moment of the day where your brain is completely yours, before the notifications, before the demands, before the noise. That first window, 10, 15, 20 minutes, is when your mind is most open to being directed. Most people hand it to an algorithm before they've even taken a breath. Day 1 is simple. The moment your alarm goes off, you get up. Not in a few minutes, not after one scroll, you get up. Then you do 3 things before you touch your phone. First, drink water. Your body has been without it for 8 hours, and your brain runs at roughly 75% capacity when it's dehydrated. Second, spend 2 minutes writing down the single most important thing you need to accomplish today. Not a list, one thing. The thing that, if you get it done, makes the day a win regardless of everything else. Third, move your body for 5 minutes, not a workout. A walk, some stretches, 20 push-ups, anything that signals to your nervous system that today is not a passive day. That's it. 3 things before the phone, 10 minutes total. What you're actually doing is something more significant than a morning routine. You are proving to yourself on the very first act of the day that you are in control of your own attention. That proof compounds. Each morning you do it, the next one gets slightly easier, and the identity of someone who owns their mornings starts to take hold. Don't start tomorrow. Start tomorrow morning. Day 2, cut the one thing quietly killing you. You already know what it is. You don't need this video to identify it. You've known for a while there is one behavior in your daily life that you return to repeatedly, that you feel worse after, and that you keep making excuses to keep. Maybe it's 2 hours of scrolling that become 4. Maybe it's a substance. Maybe it's gaming, or junk food, or a relationship you keep going back to. Maybe it's something you're not going to say out loud. Whatever it is, it has a pattern. You reach for it when you're bored, when you're stressed, when you want to avoid something harder. And every time you go back to it, you deposit a small amount of self-respect into the drain. Day 2 is not about eliminating all your bad habits. That's a fantasy. That's the version of self-improvement that fails on day 3 because you tried to become a completely different person overnight. Day 2 is about identifying the one, just one, and making a decision about it. A real decision, not "I'll cut back." A decision that sounds like, "This thing no longer has a place in who I'm becoming." Then replace it. Not with willpower. Willpower is a resource that runs out by mid-afternoon. Replace it with a specific alternative that you execute the moment you feel the pull. The urge to scroll, you pick up a book instead, even for 5 minutes. The urge to eat something that isn't food, you drink a glass of water and go for a 5-minute walk. The replacement doesn't have to be dramatic. It has to be immediate and automatic. Identity doesn't change through grand declarations. It changes through small, repeated choices that tell your brain, "That's not who we are anymore." Every time you choose the replacement over the old behavior, you cast a vote for the new version of yourself. Enough votes and the election is over. You're not fighting the habit today. You're just deciding which version of yourself gets to keep showing up. Day 3. Move like someone with somewhere to be. There is a direct connection between how your body moves through the world and how your mind interprets who you are. This is not motivational language, it's physiology. Your posture, your pace, your breathing, these are not just physical states, they are signals that your nervous system reads constantly and uses to decide how to behave. When you move slowly, slumped, without intention, your brain receives the message that today is a day for managing and surviving. When you move with purpose, even if you don't feel it yet, your brain starts to produce the chemicals that make purpose feel real. Day 3 is about your body. Not the gym necessarily, not a transformation, just intentional movement for 30 minutes. The specific activity matters less than the intention behind it. A hard walk counts. A run counts. A workout counts. What doesn't count is movement you do while distracted, headphones in, scrolling between sets, doing it on autopilot. The requirement is this: for 30 minutes today, you are present in your body. You breathe deliberately. You push slightly past the point where it's comfortable. You finish. Pay attention to what happens in the 2 hours after you do this. Most people report a clarity of thought that they rarely access from behind a desk. Problems that seemed complex become manageable. The resistance they felt toward hard work earlier in the day softens. That's not motivation. That's what your brain does when it's been given the biochemical environment it was built to operate in. Do this today. Write down how you feel before and how you feel 2 hours after. That comparison is more persuasive than anything in this video. Your body is not separate from the transformation you're trying to create. It is the foundation of it. Day 4. Guard what goes into your mind. You have spent the first 3 days building the output side. Your mornings, your habits, your body. Today is about the input side. Here is a fact that doesn't get said enough. Your mind is shaped entirely by what you consistently allow into it. Not occasionally, consistently. What you watch every day, what you read every day, who you listen to every day. This is the material your beliefs, your confidence, and your decisions are made from. Most people treat their information diet like an open buffet and then wonder why their thinking feels scattered and anxious. Day 4 has one assignment. For today, audit your inputs. In the morning, before anything else, spend 15 minutes reading or listening to something that challenges you to think at a higher level. Not content that confirms what you already believe, not entertainment disguised as education, something that requires genuine focus, a book on strategy, economics, psychology, history, philosophy, anything that demands more from your mind than passive consumption gives. Then, for the rest of the day, notice every time you reach for your phone out of boredom rather than purpose. You don't have to stop. Just notice. Count how many times it happens. Most people are genuinely shocked by the number. The goal of day 4 is not a digital detox, it's awareness. You cannot change a pattern you haven't accurately measured. By the end of today, you will have a clear picture of exactly how much of your cognitive bandwidth is being given away to things you didn't consciously choose. And that awareness is the prerequisite for everything that comes next. What you let into your mind every day is either building the person you want to become or maintaining the person you've been. There is no neutral input. Day 5. Do the thing you've been delaying for weeks. You know what it is. There is something specific sitting in the back of your awareness that has been there for 2 weeks, maybe 2 months. Something you need to do, a conversation you've been avoiding, a project you haven't started, a decision you've been circling without landing on. It's taking up cognitive space every day. Not loudly, it just sits there, a quiet weight that drains more energy than the actual task would require. Avoidance is expensive. People tend to think that not doing something saves them energy. The opposite is true. Every day you delay a difficult task, your brain spends energy maintaining the avoidance, the rationalization, the low-level guilt, the elaborate reasons why today isn't the right day. The task costs far less than the carrying of it. Day 5 is about ending one debt. Identify the thing. Not the biggest thing, not the most complex, the one that when you imagine it done, produces the most immediate sense of relief. That feeling of relief is your brain telling you exactly where to put your energy. Then give it 90 minutes, set a timer, turn everything else off. Tell no one what you're doing. Start. You don't have to complete it in 90 minutes, you just have to start. Because the starting is the only thing your brain is actually afraid of. Once you're in it, the resistance dissolves. This is true for almost every difficult thing you've been delaying. The task is never as hard as the anticipation of it. Do this today, and you will end day 5 lighter than you started it. That lightness is not motivation. It's what your natural state feels like when you're not dragging the weight of things undone. Day 6. Plan tomorrow tonight, every night. Most people leave their day to chance and then wonder why their energy goes to the wrong things. Planning is not a personality type. It's not for naturally organized people. It is a tool, and like every tool, anyone who uses it correctly gets the result it produces. The result is this. When you plan your next day the night before, you arrive at tomorrow already knowing what matters. There is no decision fatigue in the morning, no wasted hour figuring out what to do first. You wake up and you execute. Day 6 teaches a habit that, once built, is almost impossible to abandon because its benefits are immediate and obvious. Tonight, before you sleep, do this. Take 5 minutes and write down your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. Not everything on your to-do list. 3 things. Sequence them. Most important first. Then identify when specifically you will do each one. Not in the morning, a time block 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Exact. Then ask yourself one question. Is there anything unfinished from today that will pull my attention tomorrow if I don't address it now? If yes, Either handle it tonight or schedule it explicitly. Close the loop. This takes 5 minutes. What it saves you is the first 45 minutes of the following day spent in the fog of figuring out where to start. The most productive people in any field are not more disciplined in the moment, they are better at removing the need for in-the-moment decisions. Planning is how you remove those decisions before they cost you. Do this tonight. Judge it by what tomorrow morning feels like. Day 7. Build the streak, not the feeling. You have 6 days behind you. 6 real choices. Day 7 is where most people stop, not because they've failed, but because the initial urgency has faded and the feeling that drove them to start isn't as strong as it was on day 1. This is not a warning sign. This is exactly what progress feels like. The feeling is supposed to fade. If you still need the same emotional peak to keep going, you haven't built anything. You've just ridden a wave. Day 7 is about understanding the only thing that actually changes a person for good, the streak. Not the motivation, not the inspiration, the unbroken chain of showing up, regardless of how you feel about it. Here's what you've built in 6 days. A morning that belongs to you. One less thing dragging you down. A body that moves with purpose. A mind that's more careful about what it consumes. One overdue thing handled. A plan for tomorrow already written. That is not nothing. That is 6 votes for the person you're deciding to become. Day 7's assignment is to look at what you've built and make a decision. This is who I am now, not who I was trying to be for a week. Then do tomorrow exactly what you did today. Wake up the same way, move the same way, plan the same way. Not because you feel like it, because this is the protocol and you follow the protocol. The version of you that exists at the end of 7 consistent days is measurably different from the version that started. Not dramatically, but the direction has changed, and direction held long enough becomes destiny. You don't need another week of videos. You need 1 more week of this. 7 days is not a transformation, it's a proof of concept. You've shown yourself that you can direct your own mornings, cut what's hurting you, move with intention, protect your mind, face what you've been avoiding, plan with clarity, and keep going when the feeling is gone. That's the entire game. Those 7 things, repeated with discipline, are the difference between the person who talks about changing and the person who actually does. If this system worked for you, one thing matters more than subscribing, more than sharing. Do it again next week and the week after. The world has no shortage of people who changed for a week. Become someone who doesn't stop.